Good afternoon and welcome to Hometown Sports Media's coverage of the Kaiden Prothro commitment announcement here on the campus of Bowdon High School. Patrick Edson and Maurice Nunn. And Maurice, you can feel the excitement in the air. Coach Brad Yarborough speaking to the crowd right now. It's been a great crowd here this afternoon. Maurice, we're all excited about what we're going to see here. What's your expectation of what we might see here this afternoon?
Honestly, I think he has a lot of people that are leaning towards one way. I'm not going to give that team out. But my honest opinion, I feel like it's a dark horse.
Oh, so a dark horse you think is in the room. So that will be interesting to find out as we move along. The announcement will be approximately 4:25 here this afternoon here on Hometown Sports Media's coverage, brought to you by John Thornton Cadillac. We will have a conversation with Kaiden's parents, Clarence Prothro and Stacy Oliver, and then we will also talk to head coach Rich Finley, and then we will see the announcement coming forth here shortly. And there are 5 teams, Maurice, and we will talk a little bit more about what those teams are as we move through this afternoon's broadcast. But Auburn, Alabama, Florida, Texas, and of course the Georgia Bulldogs. And so we are really looking forward to knowing what this announcement is going to look like. And we will start with a conversation here coming shortly with the Prothro family. Maurice, what's your impression of Kaiden as a student athlete?
One, if you look at it, he had a list of boxes you had to check. He checks every single one of them. Great kid, phenomenal athlete, humble. If you want a kid to be your kid's friend, he was the friend you want your kid to be by. He's pretty much like the role model of a kid. If you had to build a kid, he would be that kid.
Maurice, one of the nicknames that we have seen for Kaiden so often, and I think you're the one who kind of brandished this one last year in our broadcast, but Kaiden Prothro wears the number 1, and he is the chosen one for this Bowdon Red Devil offense.
Yeah, you look at it, man, he changes the game. You look at football, you got that one player on the team that changes the game. He's 6'6", around 210 pounds. That's a physical gift. The stuff he does on the field, the catches he makes, you can put 2 or 3 players on it. He has to be accounted for every play of the game by at least 1 or 2 people on defense.
All right. So, okay. So we're getting some pictures now with the Prothro family sitting over at the table. So Stacy Oliver and Clarence Prothro will be joining us here in just a few moments, and we'll get their perspective as well. A good crowd here this afternoon in the Coliseum on the campus of Bowdon High School. We have been excited, and we are very happy that you are joining us here this afternoon on Facebook Live for all the fans in the West Georgia region and really the state who are interested in knowing if Kaiden Prothro is going to stay at home or he's going to go somewhere else to play football.
Yeah, I don't think some guys I hadn't seen since high school. Some ex-football players that don't move away, that that was friends with Pop, that played ball with him to come back, and pretty much to see this choice he's making, and once you're a Red Devil, you're always a Red Devil. It's in your blood, and then on top of this, it's a big day. He's probably the top, recruit to ever come out of this school. He's a 5-star. And, people want to come out and support that, and because they know what type of kid he is. They see all the hard work he puts in. They also know what type of family that raised him, and it's a good thing, and everybody wants to be a part of it.
All right, so it looks like we are set as the Stacy Oliver and Clarence Pop Prothro will step in, and I will have a couple of words with them. And here comes the mom and dad. Please just right here on this side of the X. If you'll both stand shoulder to shoulder, that would be great. All right, wonderful. Thanks. Pop Prothro and Stacy Oliver here this afternoon with their son, and they'll be a part of this announcement. I know both of you are extremely excited. Pop, when did you first realize that this could be a real possibility for Kaiden?
Probably going into his 7th, 8th grade year. He's always been very athletic, and watch him. He grew a little bit, and then watch him grow, and and hone his skills, and and I told him back in 8th grade that his life's going to change one day, and he didn't believe me. So, and I think, about his 10th grade year, I said, you remember me telling you that? But at the time, he didn't understand. So, but he's handled it real well.
Yeah, he's such a humble kid, and I think everybody knows where he gets that from his parents. Stacy, I'm sure you have some great memories of Kaiden as a child and growing up. What does this moment mean for you as a mother?
This is an exciting moment. It's been a long journey, long 4 years, and I'll try not to cry. And I know he's going to make the best decision for him, regardless of what anybody thinks. And he's the most humble kid. Anybody that knows him can tell you that personally, that he's the most humble child you'll ever meet.
Now, I know that all of this, the last really 2.5 years, has probably been a little mind-numbing as parents, right? I mean, all of this attention on Kaiden, but he has stayed humble and true to himself. But what has this process been like for the parents involved?
Well, as a parent, you just want to make sure that, that your kid get what he needs and gets to where he needs to go. So, it really hadn't been a stress on us because, we gotta, they say it takes a village to raise a kid. So, if she couldn't go, I would go. If I couldn't go, she would go. And then, as you say, Coach Yarbrough, they had to take him to a camp one time, and his godparents took him to camp. So, everybody had a hand in, in this right here. So, and a lot of people, we do a great job of co-parenting. So I work every other weekend. So if he had to go somewhere and I had to work, then she would take him, or vice versa. So we did a really good job of that in that aspect of it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Kaiden is a great young man, and this decision will definitely be something that changes his life. But Mom, when this all started, right? What did Mom say? Oh, what was the moment that you went, oh my goodness, my baby is really about to make a life-changing decision?
I would say his freshman year, when school started recruiting him his freshman year, and like his dad said, like his 8th grade year, like everybody always said, he's going to be playing on Sunday somewhere. But really, eye-opener was his freshman year because he started get recruited, and it just blossomed from there.
So who was the best house guest amongst the 5 finalists remaining?
That's hard to say. I'm going to say between Georgia, Florida, Auburn, Texas, and Alabama, they were all great. I don't have anything bad to say. I mean, we had a great time, and we enjoyed it, and we've enjoyed the process.
Well, that's great. How about you, Pop?
I mean, like I said, all of them been great, as far as recruiting Kaiden and all that stuff. And that's what it's about for him to experience this, and the coaches, all of them are nice to your kid. They're trying to get your kid to come play for them. And like I said, he's going to make the best decision for him. And, and we're very appreciative of all the coaches, but not only the 5 that we have on the table, but all the coaches that done come through to recruit him. And, and it's a blessing, and I tell him all the time, you're getting to do something that only kids can dream about. And, and that's a blessing in itself. So.
All right, so last question for y'all, because I know y'all are eager to go back and sit back down with Kaiden. Outside of the football for both of you, what's been the one thing that has impressed you the most about Kaiden through this recruitment process?
I say his humbleness, really just his humbleness. He never boasts or brags, or he always, if anybody personally knows Kaiden, knows that he likes to let other kids get recognition, and he never let it go to his head.
Well, like you said, I think him just continue to be a 16, 17-year-old kid, and that's what he's always been. That's, and that's the way he is. Like, just going out and hanging out with his buddies and not thinking that he's better than anybody else, and and about his 5-star status and all that stuff. He's just a 17-year-old kid that likes to hang out with his buddies. That's who he is.
That's awesome. Listen, on behalf of Hometown Sports Media, I'd like to thank you, Clarence and Stacy, for taking the time out on this very special occasion to spend with us and have a few words.
All right, thank you.
Thank y'all so very much. All right, so that is Clarence Pop Prothro and Stacy Oliver, the parents of Kaiden Prothro, and right now stepping in with us along with Maurice, it is head coach Rich Finley of the Bowdon Red Devils. Coach, good to see you here this afternoon.
Well, it's good to be here, and it's good to see this huge turnout we have. It tells you how well liked Kaiden Prothro is in the Bowdon community now.
Well, you know, and I had a really good conversation with both Pop and with his mom, Stacy. And, you know, I asked them, you know, what is it that about Kaiden that makes him so special off the football field and really somebody you want to coach?
Well, he has all the intangibles you want in a kid. If you walk in the school building, he's well liked by all the teachers. Great student. When he's in the community, you know, he's well loved in the community. He's not going out and doing things behind closed doors you shouldn't do. He's been a role model since he was young. He works all these little kid camps around here. You know, he's one of our best players, and he's one of our best weight room kids. One of our best practice kids. I've never had to worry about whether he was going to be at practice or oversleep or something like that. So just all those things, when you add them up, that's what every college program, if they want a positive winning culture in their building, you want to bring in kids that are going to be able to pass college classes, you know, that are not going to get in trouble or arrested or things outside of football. So he possesses all those things, and then probably one of the most humble kids. He's told me many times he'd rather have one touchdown reception and win than to have four and lose a football game. So, I mean, he's all about the team and about winning.
Coach, I know you have coached some tremendous football players, right? Where do you rank Kaiden amongst some of those great players?
He's up there. I mean, it's hard to hurt somebody's feelings and say.
I know, and I'm putting you on the spot there with that question.
Number one or not, but I can say this: he's in the top three kids as far as overall having all the intangibles you want a kid to have. He's probably number one. He has all of them. You know, I don't know that all the great players I've coached have possessed all those things. Some of them have struggled in the weight room. You know, some of them have struggled in the classroom. But he's up there amongst the top just because of the humility he has as a kid and just wanting to win more than anything else individual. So it puts him up there pretty high. You know, he's the first one that I've had that's had a commitment to somebody that's been broadcast live. So that may put him in the upper echelon too. So,
you know, great kid, great family, great community. What does it mean for the community of Bowdon and for Bowdon High School and for your football program to have something like this today?
Well, being a kid that this community's watched grow up, that's awesome. And he's not the only one that's come out of here and had success. You know, C.J. Brewer right now is playing, and he's playing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I think him, Kaiden, what makes it so very special is this community can see that, hey, you can play Class A football and be a five-star, be the number one recruit in the country, go sign at a major place. So it lets them know, lets our football program, you know, kids on the outside see that, hey, you can play anywhere and be seen if you have the skills, the talent, the grades, and the work ethic to go somewhere.
So, one final question for head coach Rich Finley. Kaiden's going into his senior year. What do you think this senior year will bring for Kaiden?
Well, as long as he stays healthy, I hope he can at least put up the numbers from a year ago with 1,200 yards receiving, 22 touchdown receptions. You know, I think the special thing is his senior class has won 3 consecutive state championships, and you know, they're trying to go out a perfect 4-0 in title games, and that's only been done twice in the history of Georgia high school football. So that would put this program arguably as one of the greatest 4-year runs in the history of Georgia high school football. You know, I just hope he comes in. He wants to lead. He wants to help us win football games and then go have a great career in college somewhere. And then I hope for him, he's playing on Sundays.
Coach Finley, thank you so much for joining us here this afternoon and being part of our broadcast.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. It's his big day. Love Kaiden Prothro, and good luck, and I hope everybody's pumped about where he chooses to go.
Me too, Coach. Thanks so much again for being with us today. And will come back in with us. And, you know, Maurice, we're getting pretty close to the announcement. About 10 more minutes. And when you really start thinking about these 5 teams, Maurice, that are still out there, you know, he's got 5 hats on the table right now: Auburn, Alabama, Florida, Texas, and Georgia. Where do you think Kaiden might be a really good fit for any of these programs?
Well, you go back, you look at the tight ends that Georgia put in, you know, to put out, you know, Bowers, Washington, those type of guys. But the one thing that comes to my mind is Pitts. And where did he come from? Florida. And the way they used him, because he's the physical traits that he has, he's, you know, 6'6". He creates matchups, problems. You can't put a cornerback on him, can't put a linebacker on him. You know, you got to put a very good safety on him, you know, that can cover him. But he's not the guy that's going to be, you know, a 3-point stance at the end of the tight end. He's a hybrid. You know, I look at him as like a H back, Y back, you know, split out, you know, because he can do a lot of different things, you know, and pretty much it's like a mismatch problem, you know. So I want to lean towards Georgia because they just got that pipeline. But at the same time, you got to go back and look at the playbook, look at the, you know, the games, the video, and hey, how are you going to use me? You know, all these teams. But I'm going to lean towards Georgia.
You know, that's interesting. Good perspective. All 5 of these teams have lost critical players in the passing game. For Alabama, they're going to go with a brand new quarterback, as their quarterback has gone and moved on. And also, they're returning Ryan Williams, who was a freshman sensation at wide receiver a year ago. For Auburn, they lost, I believe it was Keandre Smith to the NFL. He was drafted in the first round by the Green Bay Packers. And so, you know, one thing we know is all 5 of these programs put out high-quality NFL players.
Yeah, I mean, you know, no matter where he goes, I mean, he has a gift, and you have to know how to use that gift. So regardless of where he goes, they're going to get Kaiden Prothro on the field just because, you know, his athletic ability, his size, his speed, you know, his jumping ability. Because I think a lot of people forget, you ever seen him play basketball? He can jump out the gym. He's not one of them guys that's just going to be on the end blocking, move people. You know, he's a freak athlete, you know. So I think it's one of them things that, hey, we might have to change the playbook to get this guy on the field to make sure he gets some touches, you know, just because he has that type of talent.
Yes, he definitely changes any approach that any team Bowdon will step on the football field and face this year. He forces that second safety to cover him on the back end, and when they actually does that, then what happens is teams must adjust and try to figure out how to stop everything else that Bowdon will put on the field. And this season, definitely in his senior year, like Rich Finley said, he can be very capable of putting up another 1,200-yard, 22 touchdown season, and even with a new quarterback in Josh Hopkins.
Look, he's one of them guys, you know, nothing against none of these quarterbacks that's been here because we don't have some great ones.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you look at him, you could put me back there. You know, I'm going to find a way to get Kaiden Prothro the football. But, you know, even with, you know, them guys being, you know, great quarterbacks, that make it that much more, you know, make us a lot better. But, you know, I expect him to go out there and do great things because all the camps, you know, all the work he don't put in, you know, I think he's just now, you know, he ain't touched, you know, what he can be, you know, and a lot of it's going to be the mental part of it, you know, understanding the game a lot more as he gets older, you know, and learning, hey, it's that Randy Moss effect. I'm one-on-one, you know, you throw your hand up, you know, get me the ball, you know, it might be one play call and they might give him, you know, the quarterback the power. Hey, they got one-on-one with Kaiden over there. We're going to take this shot, you know, just because he's that great, you know.
I'm looking forward to traveling this season. Once again, Hometown Sports Media will bring every game of the Bowdon Red Devils to you live on the Hometown Sports Media Red Devil Network. I'm looking forward to the road tests that we will face this season. We will have to go to Manchester. We will have to go to Tryon. We will have to go to Fellowship Christian early in the season. We'll have to go down to Franklin and face Heard County. These are teams that challenged us a year ago. A couple of those teams will look different, but Coach Rich Finley has reloaded his team, and with Kaiden leading the way, it has the opportunity to be another special season for the Red Devils.
Yeah, you look at it, but see, that's what you want. you want to be battle tested. You know, and you go into the playoffs, you know, you want to be put in every situation possible, so it's not new to your team. You know, and when you play teams like that, you know, they tell you iron sharpens iron. You know, and you want to be tested and get better. You get better by playing great teams, and when you playing, you know, teams like that on the road, hostile environment, because if you don't play it in any of these stadiums, you know, it's going to be loud. You know, it's going to be a lot of chirping from the fans, from the opposite team, and you want to be put in that position where, you know, you can grow from, you know, and be tested and see what you got and see what your team is really made of.
Well, this season sure looks to be special for the Bowdon Red Devils, and they will be led by senior wide receiver Kaiden Prothro. All right, so we are counting down. Everybody, you can feel the excitement in the building. A nice crowd here from the Bowdon community. And we'd like to thank our sponsors, John Thornton Cadillac, for sponsoring us here this afternoon and helping make this broadcast available here on Facebook Live through the Hometown Sports Media Facebook page. All right, so Maurice, they're getting ready here. Principal Jeff Bryant, I think, is about to make an announcement. And then we will get set and move forward here. And I'm not sure... All right. So as we wrap up here, final thoughts, last words. I'm going to give you one more opportunity. You think it's Georgia?
I'm going to go with Georgia.
All right. You know what? Even though I agree with you that there could be a dark horse that we don't know about, at the end of the day, I think Kaiden Prothro will be a Georgia Bulldog. All right. And the reason why I think he would be a good fit at Georgia is simply this. The stability of that program, fans, Kirby Smart entering his 9th season, 3 SEC championships, 2 national titles, and the stability of that program really is second to none to anyone in the country in Division I football. And that's why I feel like Kaiden wound up landing in Athens to play his football.
Well, like I said, I feel like it's going to be Georgia, and, you know, because it, you know, like I said, the stability, you know, and their background with tight ends, Bowers, how they used him, you know, to find ways to get him the ball, because even with Bowers, you know, he was a different character, and Kaiden Prothro is on a different level also.
All right, so we're getting set here. We're inching closer and closer to this announcement. Principal Jeff Bryant sharing his thoughts with the crowd here this afternoon as well. All right, so I would be shocked if it's going to be anybody else other than these 5 teams. And trying to give you a perspective here. Jeff Bryant now talking with Kaiden and his family. And we're really getting close to the announcement here at Bowdon High School. So we'll drop out here now. Nope, we're going to stay right here. And then, yep, let's thank some other sponsors while we're here. Incredible Pulp Lemonade and KL Phillips LLC, also Marine South, and then Smith Floor Coverings, all helping bring this live Facebook feed here this afternoon from the Coliseum on the campus of Bowdon High School. And Kaiden now speaking to the crowd here before he makes his announcement. And looking forward to it. After the announcement, we will have a few minutes with Kaiden. He'll answer some questions. There is local media here present. I believe there is GPB and then some others here as well. So this has been a great afternoon here. All right. So, and so with Maurice Nunn, I'm Patrick Edson, the voice of the Bowdon Red Devils, saying thanks for being here on Facebook Live with us, and we will now transition over to Kaiden.
It's something that's been, dead sad. You've known for a while, or known for a day or two. Have you struggled with it this morning?
I say I had to struggle. I say I made my mind up. It was probably after the ODs probably made my mind up, just sitting down with my family, going through all the schools, and just seeing what's best for me and what's best for the program that I'm going to go to. So I say I'm pretty clear. My mind's made up.
Ladies and gentlemen, born and raised and built by Bowdon, Kaiden Prothro. Let's give him a hand.
All right, here we go. First of all, I would love to thank God for this opportunity to be in the position I am in today, because without Him, none of this would be possible. Second of all, I would love to thank my parents for supporting me, for supporting every decision I have made, for always being there for me. Third, I would love to thank Bowdon High School and my coaches for pushing me not to be only the best off the field, but also the best on the field. And I would also like to thank the Bowdon community for being great supporters and helpers in the school system. I would want to give great thanks to Hometown Sports Media, West Georgia TV, and Graddick Sports for calling some of the best games. Last, I would love to thank all the coaches that have recruited me along the way that has now led up to this. Now, with that being said, for the next 3 to 4 years, I'll be taking my talents to we're gonna be all right. I'll be taking my talents to University of Georgia.
There you have it, fans. Kaiden Prothro, 5-star wide receiver from Bowdon, Georgia, has chosen the Dogs. Man, what a great reaction from the crowd here in Bowdon and Kaiden's parents. You have to just be completely satisfied if you're a Georgia fan at the moment, Maurice.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a Georgia fan, you're ecstatic, you know, because, like, he's a game changer. And if anybody don't came and watch this guy play, they know what he can do for, you know, for a team like Georgia. You know, he's next level. You know, he going to go to a next level program. You know, even try to take that receiving, you know, core to the next level. Because, like I said, he's a playmaker like that.
All right, well, more comments from Kaiden.
If y'all want to stay after, we got a bunch of food, so please stay after and eat. There'll be pictures with whoever. You can talk to whoever. Just do whatever you want, hang out, and I'm sure there'll probably be music, but I don't know, so just hang out and yeah, go Dogs.
Hey, real quick, at the moment, he's going to sit here for probably 5 or 10 minutes and let the media ask a few questions. Then after that, he's going to go and do individual meetings. And then after that, if you want to get pictures, we're going to have a good time today. That's for sure. Once we get done, we're blessed with food, but he gets the first plate. He gets the first plate. Go Dogs. Y'all want to sit up here with him? Not good. Anybody want to come up? Y'all good? Or y'all want to wait and do individual? Wait and do individuals? Wait and do individual? All right.
So what do you want me to do?
Yeah. You go over there. Okay, recording.
I gotta get my yeah, I gotta get my phone
It's broken. Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs, and I don't know where. Okay, so Kaiden looks like he will be coming over here momentarily. As the Bulldogs announcement or music is playing, glory, glory to old Georgia. And stepping in with me right now is new commit 5-star recruit from Bowdon, Georgia, wide receiver Kaiden Prothro. Kaiden, thanks for being here with us this afternoon. Why Georgia?
Really just the program there, the standard, I feel like it's a lot like Bowdon. The development is unlike no other. They got guys going to the league every year, and I feel like they're going to develop me the best.
What was it in your official visits or conversations with that coaching staff made you feel like these guys will make me get prepared for the next level?
Really just seeing how Coach Hartley, tight end coach, just went over my film and some over the tight ends film, and just talking to Coach Smart and just going over where they're at now in the program and where they want me at when I get there.
Kaiden, it has been an absolute joy to watch you play football the last 2 seasons. What's your expectation for you in going into this senior year?
Really just being a great teammate and just finishing off the season strong in Bowdon, and just really loving on all the fans and the community and just thanking them for everything they've done for me.
Kaiden, congratulations on your choice. We look forward to seeing you this season, and we look forward to seeing what you can accomplish when you get to Athens in the class of 2026. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. So that's Kaiden Prothro with the Bowdon Red Devils, and we'll get Maurice Nunn back in here one more time, maybe get some final perspective from Maurice. Maurice, what a great choice for Kaiden. Obviously, it is a choice that will ultimately be loved by everyone in this community and in Georgia. But Maurice, what do you think about his choice?
I think it's a great choice. The track record don't lie. And the national championships don't lie. The player development don't lie. It's right there in front of you. And, right now, they're to me one of the tight end U's. You look at it, week in and week out, with the names they got on their list, they develop players and to get them to the next level. They definitely gonna make him a better player mentally and physically. And I think a lot of times people forget about the mental part of the game. And I'm pretty sure Kirby Smart don't, take his mental, football game IQ to the next level.
Well, fans, I want to say one more time, thanks to John Thornton Cadillac for sponsoring this afternoon's event here, Marine South. There's others, Incredible Pulp Lemonade. And then finally, we want to say thanks to a couple of different people. We want to say thanks to head coach Rich Finley. We want to say thank you to Clarence Prothro and Stacy Oliver and Kaiden Prothro, Jeff Bryant, Principal Jeff Bryant. We also want to thank Athletic Director Mark Huggins. We also want to thank Assistant Superintendent of Athletics over at the Carroll County Board Office in Glen Harding, and the guy behind the camera making Maurice look as well. I don't know if he could make us look better, but he did do a good job getting this set this week, and that's our senior executive producer, Billy Lindahl. So for Maurice, for Billy, and from all of us here at Hometown Sports Media, we want to say thank you for joining us here one more time. HSM's production of the Kaiden Prothro commitment from Bowdon High School. So long, everyone.